Hello everyone, I am Kevin from Tai Chi Mag for Shanghai. Welcome to Watch Kevin Talks MP. Will magnetic flux penetrate the mold and magnetize the mold? Hello, welcome to this episode. Let's talk about this issue. Will the magnetic lines on the magnetic platen penetrate the mold? Will the magnetic plate magnetize the mold material? So how does the magnetic platen work? It is using the magnetic conductivity of the mold back platen completes the entire magnetic circuit cycle, thereby generating magnetic force to clamp the mold. What about this magnetic force? It is used to transmit the mold opening force of the injection molding machine, and the friction force generated by the magnetic force on the contact area of the mold is used to overcome the natural gravity of the mold. We have introduced the magnetic platen of the bipolar magnetic platen before. Any two adjacent poles have opposite polarity. So when the magnetic flux enter the mold back platen from one pole, immediately within a depth of no more than 30 millimeters, it forms a U-shaped turn. Turn to the opposite polarity next door will not enter deeper into the mold. Therefore, under normal conditions, magnetic platen manufacturers recommend customers mold backing platen need a dimension thicker than 4 centimeters. This ensures that the magnetic flux not enter the mold. But in the case of a single pole magnetic platen, there will be some difference. Magnetic flux of a monopole magnetic platen, after being emitted from the magnetic pole, it enters the mold platen. It should also complete such a U-turn cycle. However, due to the substrate of the single pole magnetic platen is not an active magnetic pole, magnetic flux recollectability, not as good as a bipole magnetic platen, recovery ability of which has both active south and north poles is stronger. Just like when sweeping garbage, one uses a vacuum cleaner to suck, the other uses a blower to blow. In the case of using a blower to blow, some dust will definitely leak out. Then the exposed magnetic flux. It is possible to exist in any iron material. Of course, in most cases, when there are not many exposed magnetic flux, the mold cannot be magnetized. Here is an example decade ago. At one of our customers' factory in Shanghai, we have seen a magnetic platen of a famous brand mold be magnetized. So what is the reason for this? Usually the bottom back platen of the mold is made of low-carbon steel. Low-carbon steel has very good magnetic conductivity. After removing the magnetic field inside will also immediately return to its original chaotic arrangement. It appears to be magnetically neutral to the outside world. That is, no residual magnetism remains, but the mold internal core material. In order to ensure its hardness, where resistance and mechanical properties, often some alloy elements are added. High-performance mold steel. Mold steel is like a needle for sewing clothes. Be put together with magnet. After a period of time, sewing needles will retain residual magnetism, but paper clips used in the office are placed together with magnets. It will not retain residual magnetism. The situation is the same. That is, once the magnetic flux through the back platen of the mold. After entering the mold core, if the time is long, there may be residual magnetism inside the mold core. This means a monopolar magnetic platen. Indeed, compared to bipolar magnetic platen, there is also a relatively high probability to cause magnetization inside the mold, based on these reasons. So our company's products is not monopolar magnetic platen. We certainly do not recommend customers to use monopolar product to make such attempts in their production. Okay, that's all for today. We will continue next time. 1. Usually, after the magnetic flux enter the mold, they will immediately make a U-turn, will not penetrate the mold. 2. U-turn has an issue of entry depth. The bipolar enter relatively shallow compared to mono. 3. Once there is a turning radius of magnetic flux, when the thickness of the mold back platen not enough, the material of the mold inner parts may be magnetized. 4. Increasing the thickness of the mold-based platen is the most effective. Methods to prevent the mold from being magnetized.
Welcome to Contact Us.